Welcome back to part 5 of our live training session here with our K24 swapped Honda Civic Si. In this training module, we're going to be exploring dialing in our high cam or VTEC operation. We're going to look at how to dial in part throttle area in VTEC as well as wide open throttle tuning. We're going to go and look at getting the fuel calibrated, our spark timing calibrated, as well as our variable cam control, and then setting the VTEC engagement point, learning how we can blend the transition from low to high cam so we have a smooth and consistent and repeatable VTEC point. We have a lot to cover here. Let's jump in so we can check this out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our K24 swapped Civic Si. In this training module, we're going to go into our high cam or VTEC tuning. We've mapped out our low cam in that last tutorial, so we have our fuel, spark timing, and variable cam all sorted out. Now, in order to do the VTEC calibrating and tuning, we have to go and do a few things here. We need to go and prepare our high cam or VE table. So we have our low cam, high cam VE table. We have to prepare our spark timing table. That's going to be for low and high cam. We're also going to have to prepare our variable cam angle for low and high cam. Now we've set this up already in our base map configuration, so we have those details taken care of, but we need to go and put some values into the table. They're going to be reasonable starting points. So we're going to talk about that here real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and turn on our VTEC and engage it really low RPM so that we can lock into VTEC and we can do our pulls stayed in VTEC. So we can make sure we're locked into VTEC 100% on the dyno, and we're going to go through calibrating our 0° variable cam angle first, making sure we work through the fuel and spark timing there. And then we're going to go and start to walk up the variable cam timing. And then we're going to see what we end up with in terms of that variable cam blend. Then we'll go and touch up our VE table for their high cam. We'll check our part throttle on our high cam. And then we're going to make sure that we have our VTEC engagement set correctly. So we have a lot of things to talk about here for a variable cam K-series engine here with VTEC. It's pretty straightforward to do, but there is kind of an order of operations that we want to move in. Let's go and take a look at this real quick. So jumping into our calibration file, this is exactly what we had in our last tutorial here. We can see this is going to be our VE table for our off. Our cam controlled switch state is off, that's our low cam. We have our cam controlled switch state on, that's our high cam. We can see these tables are looking different in the VE values. That's kind of normal. What we're going to do here is copy everything from our low cam table and we're going to bring it into our high cam table. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go and just flip to high cam and we're going to paste that. Now what I'm going to do from here is actually just highlight these values in the table here, and I'm going to do it from roughly 4,000 RPM above. Even 3,500 RPM and above. And I'm going to go ahead and do P and add just 10% here. I'm going to bump these values up just a little bit because if we get into VTEC, we're going to be making more power, more horsepower and torque out of the engine. We're moving more airflow into the engine. So if we move more airflow into the engine, naturally our VE values should be expressed as higher values. So we're going to bump them up 10%. Probably going to have to adjust and change all this anyway, but this will be at least a starting point. I'm going to do a little bit of blending here. So 3,000 to 2,000, we'll do V, just vertically blend some of this in. Now, ideally, I'd like to set these tables up, if I'm engaged my VTEC, let's say no lower than 3,000, I would like to get rid of my breakpoints here from 0 to 2,500 because essentially we're not using the table right here. With the Elite, with the NSP software, we're not able to go and independently change the breakpoints in the table here. So meaning if I change the breakpoints on the high cam, it affects the low cam and we wouldn't have any of the low RPM breakpoints for low cam, which we actually need. So we just have to kind of ignore the lower RPM ranges right here, and we're focused on essentially 3,000 above in the fuel calibration process. It's going to be the same thing for spark timing. So straightforward there. Let's move into our spark timing. So into our spark timing here, we have two tables set up. We have low cam off, we have high cam VTEC on. Now what I'll do is take my table here for low cam, I'm going to copy the whole thing right into my high cam. If I'm able to run in full throttle 25 degrees of timing on low cam, I can absolutely run that much timing on high cam. We'll find that we usually can run a couple more degrees on high cam. The engine's a little less knock sensitive on the high cam compared to low cam. So everything that we've mapped out and tested on the low cam can be brought into the high cam, and we can adjust that and usually bump in the timing a little bit, usually at our higher load right here. Very light load, kind of part throttle cruise, which we were not going to spend much of any time in VTEC in part throttle cruise, but we can run the same timing. So whatever works on the low cam works on the high cam. So that's pretty straightforward. Then finally, if we go to our variable cam here, we find that we have our low cam table here mapped out. In our high cam table here, that's going to be all zeroed out. We're going to leave it zeroed out for right now, and we're going to baseline everything. We're going to go ahead and set up our VE table, get that kind of sorted out, make sure we have reasonable fueling on 0°, and then double check our spark timing on 0 degree, kind of dial that in. Then we'll walk our variable cam timing up. We'll figure out what our cam composite blend is going to be. Once that's sorted out 100%, then we will go back in and touch up our V table, touch up our spark timing if we need, and then we'll set our VTEC engagement point. I'll talk about how we do that specifically, and then also what we need to pay attention to in our variable cam mapping, moving from low to high cam in terms of what we command here for a variable cam angle. That's also going to be very important here. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.